60V Franco asks, I love God so much. How will I get confirmation that I've been forgiven for my sinful past? You have it. You have confirmation. God is mercy itself. Everybody is forgiven instantly. God doesn't hold a grudge. I'm still mad at you that you did that thing, even though people do terrible things. Right away. There's instant forgiveness from God in that I'm not mad at you for this. I just want to help you out of it.
Verse 26, for the Lord knoweth all them that sin against him, and therefore delivereth he them unto death and destruction.
Ooh, did you hear that? He knows all those who sin against him, and so he's going to deliver you up to death and destruction. I thought God loved everybody. Death and destruction is not love. That's hate. Are you gonna show your child, you got children, you're gonna show your children love by cutting off their limbs? Is that love? Wake up, you Christians.
I am the punishment of God. And if you had not committed great sins, God would not have sent a punishment like me upon you.
Shalom, brothers and sisters. Welcome to another episode of Crushing Christian Views. Tonight we're going to get right into it. We're in the end of days. The Black and Latino Christians are in denial of this. You might often hear these Christians say, peace in the Middle East. We pray for peace in the Middle East. God is not praying for peace in the Middle East, and Christ is not praying for peace in the Middle East. There's going to be a great disturbance over there, and the current president, Donald J. Trump, he's going to help usher that in. And so Donald Trump is also a descendant of his forefather, Esau, and the Edomites, which are children of Esau. And so we're going to go right into it. First of all, we're going to show you this. We have to remind you guys, this book, The Roman Empire, the Empire of the Edomite, was first published in, believe it or not, 1858. That's how old the original copy of this book is, 1858. Now, where were we in 1858? We were enslaved and getting our backs whipped. So we're going to go into what God says is going to happen via prophecy to Esau and the children of Esau, which are the Edomites. And we're going to have our brother and good friend Derek read that from the book of Obadiah.
This is the book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 1. The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle.
So an ambassador, according to the Lord, is sent among the heathen. Now, the heathen are all nations outside of the nation of Israel. All nations on the earth, Russia, the Canadians, the French, Germans, the Filipinos, they're all heathen. Go ahead, D.
Verse 3. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee.
Now, the pride of Esau's heart has deceived Esau. Go ahead.
Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock.
Now, why does it say thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock? Because during the Dark Ages, the Moors, who were ruling in Europe at the time, pushed the Edomites up into the mountains where they lived for hundreds and hundreds of years. Go ahead, D.
Whose habitation is high.
Their habitation is high. Look at Donald Trump. Every time he builds a building, he has to build a very tall building. When they first took over Manhattan from the Native Americans, what did they do? After some time, they built very tall buildings. They love to live high in the sky. Go ahead.
That saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground?
Because Esau don't think anyone can defeat him. Go ahead.
Verse 4. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle.
Remember, when Esau supposedly landed on the moon, he said, the eagle has landed. Go ahead.
And though thou set thy nest among the stars.
There it is again, because Esau has all kinds of satellites in space, and again, he claimed he walked on the moon. Go ahead.
Thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord.
God is going to bring them down. Go ahead.
Verse 6. How are the things of Esau searched out?
Mm-hmm.
How are his hidden things sought up?
Mm-hmm.
Verse 7. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border.
So why does it say all the men of his confederacy? That means the people who he is who he's allied with, which is Europe. Let's get that straight right now. Europe is an ally, you all know that, to America. Go ahead, D.
The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee.
Europe are the ones who are at peace with America, the eagle. Go ahead.
And prevailed against thee.
So Europe is going to prevail against Esau, against America, and you're going to find it out as we go further in the lesson tonight. Go ahead.
They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee.
Europe eats America's bread. Go ahead.
There is none understanding in him.
Esau's not going to understand how he got attacked by his allies, Europe.
Verse 8. Shall I not in that day, saith the Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom,
Mm-hmm.
and understanding out of the mount of Esau?
So he's going to destroy the understanding out of Esau because, again, Esau's not going to understand how his allies, the men who he was confederate with, attacked him. Go ahead.
Verse 9. And thy mighty men, O Teman,
Teman is also a relative of Esau. Go ahead.
shall be dismayed, to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter.
Every one of the mount of Esau shall be cut off by slaughter. Go ahead.
Verse 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall overcome thee.
Because Esau and Jacob were born of Rebekah and Isaac. They're brothers. Go ahead.
And thou shalt be cut off forever.
Did you hear that? Black and Latino Christians, Esau shall be cut off forever, but you all say God loves everybody. Go ahead.
Verse 15. For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own hand.
And that reward has to do with what you've done to God's people and to the rest of the world. What else we got?
Verse 17. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance.
That will be us being delivered.
And there shall be holiness. And the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions.
Oh, wait. So the house of Jacob is going to possess Esau's possessions. Do you understand that, you Black and Latino Christians? Go ahead, D.
Verse 21. And saviors shall come up on Mount Zion to judge the mount of Esau, and the kingdom shall be the Lord's.
So to the American independent Black woman, notice it says, and saviors with an S. Because you all think, Jesus, Jesus, that's all y'all always say, Jesus. No, Jesus is going to also give power to his men to become saviors as well. You know, I told a sister years ago, I was trying to read some things to her from the Bible. She was like, you can't save me. And I read this very verse to her, and she told me, oh, that doesn't mean what you say it means. Anyway, what we got going on next?
All right, we're in Jeremiah. Sorry.
No, go ahead, Jeremiah.
Yeah, so this is Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 1.
Okay.
The word that the Lord spake against Babylon and against the land of the Chaldeans by Jeremiah the prophet.
So against Babylon, so remember, brothers and sisters, the original Babylon was taken over long before this was written. So it's not talking about that Babylon. It's talking about Babylon the Great. Go ahead, D.
Verse 3. For out of the north there cometh up a nation against her.
Out of the north. Where's Europe situated? In the north. Go ahead.
Which shall make her land desolate, and none shall dwell therein. They shall remove, they shall depart, both man and beast.
So it says that out of the north there cometh up a nation against her, which shall make her land desolate. We're going to read that in the book of Revelation and also in the book of Esdras as well in a little while. Go ahead, D.
Verse 4. In those days and in that time, saith the Lord, the children of Israel shall come, they and the children of Judah together.
Okay, so hold on, D. Stop right there, because it says, and in that day and in that time, the children of Israel shall come, they and the children of Judah together. So when you Christians always talking about there's neither Jew nor Greek, the Greek, matter of fact, where's the Bible dictionary? I thought I brought it. Oh, it's over there. But anyway, the Greek in Galatians, when it says there's neither Jew nor Greek, the Greek is talking about the northern kingdom of Israel. That's why it says Israel and Judah. Go ahead.
Going and weeping, they shall go and seek the Lord their God.
We're going to be weeping. We're going to be crying and seeking the Lord our God. Go ahead.
Verse 6. My people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away on the mountains. They have gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place.
Yeah, I really hate that I don't have the Bible dictionary right here in front of me, because you Christians need to understand that what it means to be Hellenized. The northern kingdom of Israel, when they went into captivity under Greece, they were Hellenized. Let's read that verse again where it says, it's about the, let's see, what was that last verse about the,
It was Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 4. You want me to read it again?
Yeah, read that again.
All
Yes.
right. This is Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
In those days and in that time, saith the Lord, the children of Israel shall come, they and the children of Judah together. Going and weeping, they shall go and seek the Lord their God.
So why does it say the children of Israel and the children of Judah together? Okay, so when you Black Christians and Latino Christians, you love to tell Israelites there's neither Jew nor Greek. In that verse in Galatians, the Greek would be the children of Israel and the Jew would be the children of Judah. They're called Greek, the children of Israel are called Greek because when they went into captivity under Greece, they were Hellenized. And we're going to show you what Hellenized means, because some of you don't know. This is the Bible Dictionary, page 223, and we're going to read the definition of Hellenized. It says, Jews who made Greek their tongue and with it often adopted Greek ideas and practices. That's the neither Jew nor Greek. The Greek are the northern kingdom of Israel. I'll read it again. Hellenized, Jews who made Greek their tongue and with it often adopted Greek ideas and practices. There it is, folks. So let's get back to it, D. What's the next verse?
It's Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 9.
Mm-hmm.
For lo, I will rise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country.
Oh, read that again.
This is Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 9.
Mm-hmm.
For lo, I will rise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country.
I just told y'all the north country is Europe. It says here, God is going to cause an assembly of great nations from the north country to come up against Babylon. Babylon who? Babylon the Great, America. Go ahead.
And they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain.
None of the arrows shall return in vain, because once those missiles are set off, that's it. All right, go ahead.
Verse 13.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the wrath of the Lord, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate.
Oh, did you hear that? Because of the wrath of the Lord, Babylon shall not be inhabited. So the original Babylon, which was today would be Iraq. Is Iraq inhabited right now? Yes. So it's not talking about Iraq. It's not talking about ancient Babylon, which is originally Iraq, what Iraq is today. it's talking about another Babylon, which will be America. Once this place is hit with nuclear bombs, it'll never be inhabited again. Go ahead, D.
Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished, and hiss at all her plagues.
People will be astonished because people think America can't be beaten. That's why they're going to be astonished. Go ahead.
Verse 14. Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she hath sinned against the Lord.
For she hath sinned against the Lord. They're going to shoot the arrows. And I know some of you Christians like, what, you mean like a bow and arrow? No, missiles. Go ahead, D.
Verse 16. Cut off the sword from Babylon, and him that handleth the sickle in the time of harvest.
Mm-hmm.
For fear of the oppressing sword, they shall turn everyone to his people, and they shall flee everyone to his own land.
And by the way, we're the only ones, the so-called Negroes, we're the only ones that don't have a land to flee to. That's why Christ has got to come pick us up in the chariots, or in today's vernacular, UFOs, spaceships. Go ahead.
Verse 20. In those days and in that time, saith the Lord, the iniquity of Israel shall be sought for, and there shall be none, and the sins of Judah, and they shall not be found, for I will pardon them whom I reserve.
Notice it keeps separating Israel and Judah, because the whole plan is to bring Israel and Judah back together. Go ahead, D.
Verse 23. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken?
America is the hammer of the whole world. Go ahead, D.
How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations?
So again, the original Babylon, which is today Iraq, is still around. When this Babylon is done, it's done. Go ahead, D.
Verse 24. I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou wast not aware. Thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against the Lord.
And the reason why they're not aware, we just read that in Obadiah. There's none understanding in Esau when this happens. He's not going to understand, how did this happen? Go ahead.
Verse 26. Come against her from the utmost border. Open her storehouses. Cast her up as heaps and destroy her utterly. Let nothing of her be left.
Come against her from the utmost border. We just read that in the book of Obadiah. America will be brought to the border by her allies. Europe. Go ahead.
Verse 30. Therefore shall her young men fall in the streets, and all her men of war shall be cut off in that day, saith the Lord.
All the men of war shall be cut off in that day, saith the Lord. What else we got?
That's it for that.
Okay.
Now we're going to Revelation.
Now we're going into Revelation. Man, we're just rolling right through this. We're going to show you that the place that you all love so much, America, is going to become a desolation. It hasn't yet, but it's on its way there. And Donald Trump, I'm not saying that, a lot of people are saying he's the last president. He said he's the last president. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying, he is going to help usher in World War III. Guaranteed. Okay?
All right, this is the book of Revelation, chapter 17, verse 3.
And this is getting ready to confirm what we've been reading in Jeremiah 50 and the book of Obadiah.
So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast.
Stop right there, D. Scarlet. What color is scarlet? Black in Latino Christians. Red. A red beast. The dragon is red. And Esau, when he was born of Rebekah and Isaac, he was born red. Go ahead.
Full of names of blasphemy.
Full of names of lies. That's what that means. Blasphemy means lies, you black Christians. Go ahead.
Having 7 heads and 10 horns. Verse 5.
Okay.
And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth.
The mother of whores. Aren't there a bunch of whores in America? They're all over the place. We see them every day. It's wintertime right now here in Detroit, Michigan, and these whores are walking around naked. Anyway, go ahead.
Verse 7. And the angel said unto me, Wherefore didst thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman and the beast that carrieth her, which hath the 7 heads and 10 horns. Verse 9. And here in the mind which hath wisdom.
Oh no, start again, D.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 17, verse 9. And here is the mind which hath wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth. Verse 11. And the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th.
The 8th is America, because the 7 heads that we just read about, the 7 mountains, are, I'm trying to remember, it's Greece, Rome, Spain, Russia, Germany, I think France, Great Britain is the 7th. Great Britain is the 7th. And remember, if you know history, America was born out of Great Britain. That's why it says even he is the 8th. That would be America. Read that again, D.
This is Revelation chapter 17, verse 11. And the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th.
America, because America is the revived Roman Empire. Go ahead.
And is of the 7th, and goeth into perdition.
And is of the 7th, which is Great Britain. And goeth into perdition means totally desolated, destroyed. Okay?
Verse 12. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast.
So remember, folks, this is not talking about 60 minutes as an hour. Remember, God says 1,000 years is like a day, and a day is like 1,000 years, because he himself lives outside of time. So God uses time in certain areas in the scripture to make a greater point. Read that part again, D.
This is Revelation chapter 17, verse 12. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. Verse 13. These have one mind and shall give their power and strength unto the beast.
See, this is how you know prophecy is real, the Bible is real, because Europe has given its power to America. That's why NATO is controlled by the United States. And NATO is where? In Europe. Go ahead, D.
Verse 14. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them.
So Europe is going to make war. Now you're probably wondering, well, how is it Europe going to make war with Jesus? Wouldn't America be making war with Jesus? No, you're going to find out. America at this point is already destroyed when Europe makes war with the Lamb, which is Jesus. Start again, D.
This is Revelation chapter 17, verse 14. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them.
And Jesus is going to destroy Europe.
For he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful.
The angels. Go ahead.
Verse 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore.
The 10 horns, Europe is going to hate America. Listen, folks, all I got to do is start looking at the news. President Macron of France, the German president, they're all pissed off already. They're getting more and more pissed off at America because of the moves Donald Trump is making. Go ahead.
And shall make her desolate and naked.
Make her desolate and naked, destroy her.
And shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire.
Eat her flesh and burn her with fire. America is going to be burned with fire. Go ahead.
Verse 17. For God hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will.
So for all you would say, why would a man push the nuclear button? God is going to put it in their hearts to fulfill his will. Go ahead.
And to agree.
And to agree.
And give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of God shall be fulfilled.
So right now, America runs shot over Europe. America runs shot over Europe. Go ahead.
Verse 18. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city, which reigneth over the kings of the earth.
Folks, who reign over the kings of the earth? America does. America is the only country that can put sanctions on everybody and piss everyone off. All right, what we got next?
We got second Esdras.
Oh boy, we're going to second Esdras. So what happens here in second Esdras is the prophecy of what's going to happen to America's ally, the state of Israel. Not Israel, the real Israel, which is what we are, but the state of Israel, which is ran by the people who call themselves Israelis/Jewish. Go ahead.
This is second Esdras, chapter 15, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord.
I'm sorry, second Esdras what? 15?
Yep.
Okay, go ahead.
Verse 2. And cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true.
So God says to cause them to be written in paper. So for all you slick talking Negroes, Christians, who always say, man wrote the Bible, or God is telling you man wrote the Bible. He says that and cause them to be written in paper. Go ahead.
Verse 4. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness.
The Christians are unfaithful because you don't keep the commandments. This is what you Christians don't know. Having faith means keeping the commandments. And we can explain that to you in a little bit. Go ahead, D.
Verse 5.
Mm-hmm.
Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction.
Wait a minute, I thought God loved everybody. He's going to bring plagues upon the world. I thought God loved everybody. Oh, that's a different kind of love, right? Anyway, go ahead, D.
Verse 10. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter.
Now, who is it that's leading God's people as flock to the slaughter? The Christian pastors. Go ahead.
I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt.
Now, some of you think this is talking about Egypt, which is in Northeast Africa, but watch this.
Verse 11. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues, as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. Now
notice God says, as before. Now, it also says, and will destroy all the land thereof. The Egypt in Northeast Africa hasn't been destroyed. It's still there. So what Egypt is this talking about? Is there a sidebar yet?
Yep.
Okay, let's go sidebar.
So the sidebar is, we're going back to Revelation, chapter 11, verse 8.
Okay.
And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city.
That would be the northern kingdom of Israel and the southern kingdom of Judah.
Which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt.
Did you hear that? Which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt. Watch this.
Where also our Lord was crucified.
Now, where was Jesus crucified? He was crucified outside of Jerusalem. So why does this verse says he was crucified in spiritual Egypt? Because here in America, the image of Jesus was crucified because we see an image of what? A Caucasian guy is Jesus. His image was crucified here in America, which is spiritual Egypt. Is that it on that?
Yep.
All right, let's
now
go.
We're back to second Esdras, and this is verse 14.
Okay.
Woe to the world and them that dwell therein.
Wait a minute, I thought God loved everybody. The word woe means destruction, folks. The word woe means destruction. Go ahead.
Verse 15. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands.
So one people shall stand up to fight against another. That's your civil war right there. That's why they made that movie Civil War, because that's getting ready to come true. As a matter of fact, folks, just a couple days ago, a group of skinheads invaded a historical neighborhood in Cincinnati called Lincoln Heights.
You're going to jail,
viewed
millions of times, this video posted by members of a neo-Nazi group shows their encounter with Eric Ruffin Friday on the border of Evendale and Lincoln Heights.
They are chipping hard.
Ruffin says he was stopped at a light when the group approached him, masked, armed, and hurling racial slurs. You can see Ruffin brandish his firearm to show he was also armed. After pulling away, this body cam video shows an Evendale officer approach Ruffin.
He just turned it down so I can talk.
And the neo-Nazis ask police this.
You guys want
We showed Ruffin that
Because they're trying to drum up the Civil War with black people. Anyway, go ahead.
Verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes.
They shall not regard their kings or princes, because once the Civil War get going, there's nobody in, there won't be any mayors or governors who can say, you people got to stop this. Everybody's going to keep doing what they're doing. They're not going to regard the princes or kings or anything. Go ahead.
And the course of their actions shall stand in their power.
Because they're going to, listen, folks, go watch the movie Civil War. The course of their actions stood in their power. Hollywood knows what's going on, and the Israelites know what's going on. You Christians don't know what's going on. Go ahead.
Verse 18. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid.
And men shall be afraid. Which men will be afraid? You Christian men are going to be afraid. The Israelites, we're not going to be afraid because we expect this to happen, because we believe in the Bible. You don't. Go ahead.
Verse 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation.
And for great tribulation, because World War III is upon us. Go ahead.
Verse 24. Woe to them that sin, and keep not my commandments, saith the Lord.
Did y'all hear that? Woe to them that sin and keep not my commandments. You Christians don't keep the commandments. Is there a sidebar? It hasn't come up yet?
You know, after verse 26, then sidebar.
Okay, go ahead.
Verse 26. For the Lord knoweth all them that sin against him, and therefore delivereth he them unto death and destruction.
Ooh, did you hear that? He knows all those who sin against him, and so he's going to deliver you up to death and destruction. I thought God loved everybody. Death and destruction is not love. That's hate. Are you going to show your child, if you got children, you're going to show your children love by cutting off their limbs? Is that love? Wake up, you Christians. All right, where we at?
All right, now we're at the sidebar.
Okay.
This is 1 John chapter 3, verse 4.
This is going to tell you Christians what it is to sin, what the definition of sin is. Go ahead.
Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law.
The word transgression means to break God's law. Go ahead.
For sin is the transgression of the law.
For sin is the breaking of God's law. And that's what you Christians do every single day of the week. You break God's law. You eat ham, you eat shrimp, crab, calamari, catfish, squid, alligator down at fish bones. You're always in sin. What's next?
So we're back in 2nd Esdras, chapter 15, verse 28.
Okay.
Behold, a horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east.
And from the east, because World War III is going to get set off in the Eastern Hemisphere. Where at specifically? The so-called Middle East. Go ahead.
Verse 29. Where the nations of the dragons of Arabia.
The nations of the dragon of Arabia, of Arabia, that would be your Arabs. Go ahead.
Shall come out with many chariots,
Mm-hmm.
and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon earth. That all they which hear them may fear and tremble.
They're going to be scared because finally the Arab nations are going to come together and set forth to go destroy the so-called state of Israel because of what the state of Israel has been doing in Gaza. Go ahead.
Verse 30. Also the Carmanians, raging in wrath, shall go forth.
The Carmanians, by the way, are the Iranians, Iran. If you notice, most of the talk of war between Israel and Iran, I should say, I want to articulate this the correct way. Iran is being talked about the most out of Donald Trump's mouth. President Donald Trump, he's always talking about Iran. That's who the Carmanians are, the people of Iran. Start again, D.
This is 2nd Esdras, chapter 15, verse 30.
Mm-hmm.
Also the Carmanians raging in wrath shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come, and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land for the Assyrians.
And shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians.
Of the Assyrians.
And it's using the word Assyrian, but it's talking about the state of Israel. Also, too, there was something else in there you said that was juicy. It says, and join battle with them. The Carmanians, which is Iran are gonna join. They're gonna join battle with the Arabs. That's who the them is in this verse. The Arabs. Iran is going to join battle with the Arabs. Go ahead. I think that's the correct way to say Arabs, but we're from Detroit. We say Arabs, so go ahead, D.
Verse 31.
Go ahead. What was you gonna say?
Ishmaelites.
The Ishmaelites. That's the correct name. The Ishmaelites. That's what we should be using. Go ahead, D.
Verse 31.
Yeah.
And then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature.
Remembering their nature, the Arabs, the Ishmaelites are going to have the upper hand. What is their nature? It says in the book of Genesis, I believe, that Ishmael is a wild man. Think about why it says that, because this is the only people we know that'll strap a bomb to himself just to kill everybody else. That's what it means by remembering his nature. He's a wild man. It's in the book of Genesis. Go ahead, D.
And if they shall turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them.
Okay.
Verse 43.
Mm-hmm.
And they shall go steadfastly unto Babylon and make her afraid.
Babylon is going to be made afraid by the events that are happening with the dragons of Arabia, the Ishmaelites. Go ahead.
Verse 44.
Mm-hmm.
They shall come to her and besiege her. The star and all wrath shall they pour out upon her.
The star is a missile. Go ahead.
Then shall the dust and smoke go up unto the heaven.
The smoke and the dust that goes up to the heaven is because of the missiles that are dropping. Go ahead.
And all they that be about her shall bewail her. Verse 61.
Okay.
And thou shalt be cast down by them as stubble, and they shall be unto thee as fire.
As fire, folks, as fire, which comes from the missiles and more specifically the nuclear bomb. Now the Arabs don't have a nuclear bomb, but Iran, the Carmanians, they do have a nuclear program. I don't think anyone has been able to really pinpoint whether Iran has a nuclear bomb or not, but they do have a nuclear program. Go ahead.
Verse 62. And shall consume thee in thy cities, thy land and thy mountains, all thy woods and thy fruitful trees shall they burn up with fire.
They're gonna burn up everything with fire from the missiles and eventually the nuclear bomb, which is gonna be which is gonna come from America's allies, the 10 Kings, which is Europe. Go ahead.
Verse 63. Thy children shall they carry away captive.
The children shall be carried away captive.
And look what thou hast. They shall spoil it and mar the beauty of thy face.
And mar the beauty of thy face. No more beauty for you. Is that it?
Yep.
So, brothers and sisters, anything you want to say on that, Corey? Okay. So
a lot of destruction coming to America.
A lot of destruction is coming, and I want you, brothers and sisters, to understand that when the Civil War breaks out, it doesn't necessarily have to be in every city, but it will be significant enough where people in this country will be very afraid here in America. They're trying to start it up in Ohio right now. As I said earlier, you had the skinhead types who showed up at this black historical neighborhood in Lincoln Heights, which is in Cincinnati. And a lot of the residents of Lincoln Heights came out with their guns and the skinheads ran away. But there's gonna come a point where when the skinheads show up in your black neighborhood, they're not gonna run away. So be prepared for that and be prepared to protect your children.
Y'all just say y'all gangster. Don't run when they show up.
Yeah, so especially you gangsters in Los Angeles and Chicago, we're gonna really see you tested when this happens. We're gonna see how tough you are then, and we're gonna see if you're gonna be willing to protect your so-called people, okay? So on that note, we just wanted to bring you some of what's gonna happen in the very, very, very nearby future. Also, we wanna say we're glad you joined us, and like, comment,
and subscribe.
And the Cash App.
Donate to the Cash App. We need the donations. Donate, donate, donate.
Yeah, so that we can continue to grow this, and because we're also joined with other Israelites. We're not affiliated with anyone's camps, but those are our brothers. We're joined with them to spread this word all over the world where our people are.
You gotta tell the Black and Latino Christians they don't want to admit they're Israelites, but they are brothers and sisters as well.
Yeah, especially you Dominicans are so quick to say you're not black. And I know why you do it, because you don't want to be associated with the negativity of the black man in America. But in a little while, you're going to come and bow down to us and be happy that we started to spread the word here in America as the tribe of Judah. So we're waiting to see that also. So on that note, we want to say shalom, brothers and sisters. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you on the next one. Shalom.
I am the punishment of God. And if you had not committed great sins, God would not have sent a punishment like me upon you.